Hi, I'm Gavin from Floorcraft, and this is part 2 of the Amtico design floor installation. In the earlier video we showed you how to mark round to set out the border. We actually put adhesive down ready for the central motif to go in. That's now in, as you can see. The rest of the border is all run round bar this small piece here and filling in behind. It's all glued and ready, so the adhesive's now quite tacky, so it's a perfect time to cut it all in. What I'm going to show you here is the final part of how to cut a mitre in, or the final piece we're doing. So it's very easy to do. You need to use the mitre on the other side that you've already cut as a guide or a template for the one that you're going to cut on here, because this is going to form what we call a projected image of that mitre onto this piece of Amtico. So first of all, what we need to do is we need a piece of Amtico that is just slightly over length. So if we lay it on there, we can see that that should be over length. So if we cut with a knife through there, there's no need to really put a guide in and cut it dead straight. Just be a rough line, because we're not going to use that end. As you can see, it's very easy to snap. So now we use the other end of the board, that is the board which has the beveled edge on it, and we put that in there. We then overlay this part onto here and mark through. Now this is where the final piece, you just need to just slightly adjust things in order to get it absolutely bang on, and we'll need to probably do a few more adjustments just to actually get it perfect. There we go, if we just push that back there, that gives it a better line. Okay, so cut through with a knife once, twice, right to the edge. Flip the piece up, take it out. See, the adhesive's not fully gone, it's not to the point where you put the Amtico on it and you can't get it off, which is if you let it cure too far, that's what happens. Now, we use a small box plane in order just to trim. You see there's quite a rough edge on the base of there, so we use a small box plane just to knock that edge off and just straighten the mitre up, so it's all nice and neat. There's a lot of companies that will actually just leave that on there and then tell you that's how you do it, but that's not the case. We then also just run it across the top, and that takes a bevel off the top, makes it a much neater fit when you put it in. So now this piece should fit in nice and neatly. Now you may find when you do that, the final piece, that you actually need to adjust some others around just in order to get it. So we're actually going to have to change this piece as well now in order just to pull that straight. That's the joys of fitting Amtico. Nibble that end off. So I can actually show you again then on this piece that we're just going to readjust. Same principle. End in, that piece up and over. Now if that happens when you're cutting, as you see, the knife actually ran off at the mark. So there's now two lines on there. So that, for the purposes of this, is useless. So we put that to one side. Don't even try and attempt cutting it straight, because it'll only end up breaking on the line you don't want it to break on. So we put another piece in. Very carefully. More carefully than last time. Cut down, making sure we don't come off the line. Again, take that piece out. Amtico should break like that if you cut through far enough. Very simply. Take the box plane again and just straighten that up. What you're really trying to do is just knock the sort of black lumpy parts that are sticking out off there. You're not trying to really trim anything off the mitre, because we know we've cut that to the right length. And then just take the bevel off the top of it. So as you can see, that all now fits really nice and neatly. We'll just tighten those two up there. This is the sort of last rejigging part that you have to do when you put the fine whiters in, and there's always a little bit of just rejigging it just to make sure it's all nice and tight. And that's why we do it before the adhesive has gone off to the point where you can't pull the pieces of Amtico off it anymore. So it's still got a bit of life in it. There we go. So that's how to cut in mitres. I'll come back in a further video along to show you how to put the design strip in and how to start infilling the centre section to finish the floor.